Hi, today we're gonna be talking about bag of milk instead of a bag of milk instead of a bag of milk. Yes, that is a sentence. Yes, that is a game. Yes, you should go and play it. That would be my review, like if I was gonna make it very short, which I'm not. Bag of milk instead of a bag of milk instead of a bag of milk is a horror visual novel, or that is what it would describe it as. I would not call it horror in the sense that it didn't scare me at all. However, it does definitely feature horror elements. Now, because it's a visual novel, I cannot really talk about the plot as that would be spoiling the entire game. Like, this game is plot, it is all that it is. There will be certain elements that I'll have to mention for this entire thing to even make sense, but it is mainly plot. Therefore, no, I will not be talking about the story, about what's going on here, as I want you to experience that. The reason being is that bag of milk instead of a bag of milk instead of a bag of milk exactly cost 99 cents. It is about an hour long, 46 minutes-ish. It took me 46 minutes and I'm a below average reader, at least for my area, in terms of speed. So again, in my opinion, it's highly worth it. If you don't care at all and you don't want to play regardless, or you just want to listen to me ramble for a bit, then feel free to stick around. If you do, go and play it, man. You owe it to yourself. It's really good, really good. Because in a visual novel, normally I haven't played a lot. I'm definitely not a master within this field. Normally they tend to try to set an atmosphere and either fail and succeed, and bag of milk instead of a bag of milk instead of a bag of milk, or milk one as I will be calling it from now, really succeeds. And not only because of the visuals, which we'll get to in a moment, but because of this music. I will just let you hear it as I heard it for a little bit here. Have you heard it? What do you think? I think the music is fantastic in the game, mainly because it fits the atmosphere. Because not only does the music sort of weird, it's distorted, it's hitting you in the face, it's loud, but so is the imagery. Because the visual novel is not pleasant to look at, and that's the fucking point, right? Because the visual novel itself, if you look at it, is super distorted, it's red, it's pixelated, it's purple, it's weird colors, it's weird shapes. But that's because in this visual novel, you're not seeing it from the outside perspective, but you're seeing it from the main protagonist's eyes. Because you as the player are not the protagonist here. You are instead the voice inside of her head. She'll be talking to you throughout the entire time, but you can never have any direct impact on the world around you. This ends up meaning that mostly all encounters with anything is you watching the main protagonist. It's almost like reading a book or watching a show in that regard. Because what ends up happening is that she'll talk to a character, then you'll get some input on what she should say, and she'll loosely follow that. Again, because of spoilers and the game is so short, I won't really use too many examples here, but my favorite is sort of the first encounter you have with a NPC that just says "oh," and the entire exchange is her coming into the store, because I feel like I have to explain it, right? She comes into the store and she starts talking to this person, and while the person is probably saying something actually related loosely to what's happening, she hears "oh," and that's what you hear. And then you as the voice asks, why is he saying no? And she goes, well, I have a fear of O's. And you as the voice ask why. And then because instead of being a normal visual novel where you play as the main protagonist and you're just expected to know these things, or a normal game really, instead the game does this thing where she's like, well, instead of explaining it to you, why don't I just show you? And then this fucking thing happens. Now, the fuck might be the appropriate response, and that was also mine. But what is essentially happening here is that you are seeing the world again through the protagonist's eyes, so she can show you things herself. It's also why this is a visual novel, because as is later explained, she imagines her being the main protagonist of a visual novel and talks to you, the voice in her head, as if you're the reader. It's why there's monologuing and all of that stuff, and it makes so much sense. And it's a really good plot device, because instead of some other game where it's just never explained, you're just talking to yourself, right? Yeah, she is, but she's also she has some mental problems. Specifically, and I won't get into the reason why, she has experienced some trauma in her life, and that has caused her to be this introverted person that doesn't go out, that doesn't talk with others, that talks with herself, that's scared of people. And somebody who has dealt with mental things myself and is dealing with mental things, I can relate to this character. I think most people have a voice inside of her head, and it's sort of weird and interesting to see a game where you get to be that voice. You never have any direct control, and that makes it super interesting. And I hate that I can't talk more about it, because I really want to, but I don't want to steal people away that could potentially play this game either. Because as has been a debate over the course of a lot of time, there's one that's ethically right and morally right, like as a reviewer, as like an outside personality, to talk about a shorter indie game, especially one that's as cheap as this, and I don't know where to fall on that. And in terms of this one, if I talked about the plot, which is what I really want to talk about, then sure, I can make a more interesting video, but it'll also take people who can potentially play it away from the game, because the entire point and the entire gameplay of the game is the plot, right? It's a visual novel. And that might in and of itself not be inexcusable or anything like that. I'm not saying that I'll be damned in hell or anything like that. There's nothing of that. And I don't think the main dev is gonna get angry either or anything like that. But I am saying that it's literally $1. Go and experience it yourself, because it's really good. And to some degree, I feel like I'll be robbing you of the experience as well. And I don't want to do that, because this is a game worth experiencing. That brings us to one more thing, because you've heard me call bag of milk instead of a bag of milk instead of a bag of milk, milk 1. That implies there's multiple. And you would be absolutely right. There's the sequel that picks up directly where the first game left off, and I'm gonna introduce you exactly the same way I was introduced to this game, because I had no idea what I was getting myself into. So here you go, just enjoy the intro. yeah, it's quite something, isn't it? Now, I was completely blown back by this, because, I mean, look at it. Everything in Milk 2 has been upgraded, from writing to, well, the general atmosphere, to the music, to everything in between. Some of it is animated, some of it isn't, and there's a bunch of endings. I think there's like 6 endings you can get. I've only gotten one of them so far. I do intend to go for more. It's taken me 46 minutes to beat, and this is where I sort of start to get a problem with it. Because, and this is gonna be solely up to you, but if I were to recommend it, it'd be a hard maybe, because it depends on the person. Milk 2 cost $8, nearly $9 ish, around that. And while I still won't spoil the plot because it'll be the entire game, I think, and I want to say this preemptively before we get any further, Milk 2 is also worth buying. Use the 10-ish bucks and buy both of them and enjoy the entire story of the main character that we have access to so far. It is worth it, it is good, you're not gonna regret it. That's where I'm sitting on it. Now, is there anything different? No, there really isn't with Milk 2. Milk 2 has a section where it becomes a point and click instead, and that doesn't really, well, it doesn't really change the general flow of the game. It's still just you clicking on objects, then talk with the main character. That's it. You're still a voice inside of her head. However, there's better visuals now, as you know, the entire character's animated. It's no longer just red. Now you can see the main character has color. You get into more of her personal backstory. In addition, the writing, in my opinion, hits harder in Milk 2, as you get to see some real emotions come out from her. Now, whether or not this makes it really worth your time, because I'm not, as I said, I don't want to talk about the plot, and the majority of these games are plot, and therefore I can't really talk about Milk 2 that much, because again, the same exact points goes into Milk 2. Is it good? Yes. Do you place the voice inside of her head? Yes. Is the main character charming and great to listen to? Absolutely. Is it a good visual novel? Hell yeah. Is it beautiful? No, it's Milk 2. It's weird, it is out there, it is horrific. I love it. And again, whether or not it's your thing, that's up to you. If you want my skeptical approach to it, like if you're not quite sure, if you're on the edge and you're sitting and going, $9, that's a lot, then that's fine. But what I recommend you do then is go and buy Milk 1, that's $1, like $1, one buckaroo. Then you go and play that and see if you like that. And if you like it, then you will like Milk 2, 100%. And then you can go and buy that. Because personally, I'm not one of the people who think that $1 equals an hour of gameplay time. I think that's a very shortening perspective, if that makes sense. Like, they cut off a lot of other good games that aren't necessarily long, but do have more than $1 on, like, the price tag. But whatever, I'm getting off on the side note here. The short answer is yes, I do recommend Milk 2 as well. And while I wish I could do the game more justice than I have by talking about the story, I don't want to draw customers away from the developer either. And yeah, that's Milk. Hi, it's me here to say thank you for watching if you made it this far. Listening to me ramble this, I don't get why you do it, but I'm happy that you do. Yeah, so I guess I just wanted to take a moment of your time just to sort of explain why I'm taking the channel and what I'm gonna be doing in the future. So firstly, thank you for the support on the World of Horrors video. That's pretty cool. It's funny because I don't normally play horror games per se. It's not really my forte either. I like a lot of different sort of things. I like the weird and unusual games, and sometimes also the mainstream games. Like, I'm a huge Destiny fan, as can be seen by my channel. And while I don't want to go away from that content necessarily, I want to make a video here explaining the chase of a card roll and then, you know, getting the card roll and all of that good stuff. I want to make that at some point, like in the near future. Currently I'm trying to do, but I'm better, but we'll see how that goes. I also sort of don't want to exactly focus on just talking about games like I am now. And there's a simple reason. And that is, I am a person who has a lot of varying interests, and I like to talk about random stuff, and that's what this channel probably will end up being. I might make a video rambling on about some internet drama stuff, and then the next day I'll make a video talking about a horror game. Then I'll make a video talking about an action game, right? I want to also ask, you know, what do you guys want? Like, from this channel, sorta. Because I love making these videos. This has actually been one of the funner things to make. I don't exactly just want to focus down on one area, though. I want to spread out, you know, the creative juices, if that makes sense. Or it's just a weird way to put it, but I want to spread that out. I want to, like, try different things and experiment a little bit. I've sort of considered for the next and the final horror game I have planned right now, because I don't have any other ones that I really know that I want to talk about right now. You know, the last one being Faith. I sort of want to do a Bricky style review where I sit in front of the camera as well at times, so like appear on screen and just go, look at this, it's cool. Because Bricky is fucking awesome, and I think his content is great, and sort of a mimic start of that. But we'll see. I don't know what's in, you know, store for the future for us on this little piece of the internet, but hey, we'll figure it out together, probably. But for now, that's been the Milk video. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking about that. If you wanna come and watch me play Destiny and other random games, probably Diablo 4 when it comes out, maybe, I don't know. This is a great outro. But if you want to come and watch me play that live, I have a Twitch channel. Come follow it if you want to. If you don't, that's okay. Also, if you want to follow the YouTube channel, feel free to. I'll appreciate it. And like the video if you liked it. Dislike it if you dislike it. To quote Mood or Horror, because I know my YouTube. And I'll see you all later.